Welcome back, guys. Again, this is Witness94. I'm bringing you the texture instruments. This time, it's Pac-Man for the system. Uh, so yeah, the graphics you'll probably see in a few moments here. The reason I'm doing this is because I actually own the text instruments back in the day, which I don't got right now because it's probably somewhere in the landfill. Actually, in this particular segment, I'm not actually going to talk about it. Of course, I used to have it. I have fond memories, but of course, there's some of those fond memories. There's also dark ones. So if you're looking at the graphics right now, it actually looks a lot better than the Atari 2600, which is a complete shock because Texas Instruments computers are not known for the graphics and their sounds. And you hear about the sounds, they can produce one sound and then cuts out and gets another sound. So it can't produce multiple sounds. Of course, this is back in the early 80s, so it's not mind-boggling. So I did mention about I did used to own the system. If you're familiar with the system, there was the black and the gray one, and there's also the white or beige one, which I have. It was actually a big computer, and on the right-hand side, there's this slot for a cartridge. And when I got the system at the time, oh gobble gobble, there's a game called Parsec, which came with the system. But other than that, there was nothing else. And that's where the dark side comes in. Because of that, and of course, the memory of the system is really, really, really small. There was no peripherals that came with the system. I did get what's called a dot matrix computer. If you don't know what that is, of course, it's the printer. However, you have to buy the specific paper, and on the sides of the paper are these little holes there, and you have to connect the holes to the printer. You gotta make sure they match up, otherwise it's going to tear / jam up big time. And I'm not sure the kind of ink, but the ink really sucked. It dried up a lot. But the good about the printer is that it's actually compatible with, of course, a lot of printers. I had it for about, God, I think maybe about 15 years. It was good when I had the one of my first PC computers there. It was actually worked quite well, but again, the point there just wasn't working the way it should there. So that was pretty much gone. But there wasn't that many peripherals that be compatible not only with the Texas Instruments but also with other devices. So I never had any disk drives. So that includes the 5 1/4 and the. I'm not sure there was a 3 1/2 that came with the system or not. So in a nutshell, so if you ever bought the system, of course it came with the computer and Parsec the game, which is like a little space game where your laser comes to overheat and you can do jump levels, and you have to dodge enemies, and you have to hit them multiple times. And we all love the saucers in the game. The saucers kill you in the back, and we throw the cartridge across the room. It came with 2 books, and of course other papers, but the 2 main books, of course, is the big book of basic and how to use the computer. I believe it's basic at the time. I'm not too sure, but the way it was designed, that it looked like it was designed for schools because it had a lot of colorful characters, but black and white, and it actually told you how to program. And the types of examples is that you can actually create sound, music, colors, movable graphics, and do programs that require either yes or no, and like go to char or hash char or v char, that sort of thing. That's for example purposes. I used to fool around a lot. Bad news, I couldn't save it, so it pretty much sucked. Yeah, but it was definitely a book. It was pretty much fun at that time, but it gets pretty annoying when you couldn't save your progress. And if you want to check the program, you have to write the program out over and over again. Each time you have to shut the computer off. So that's not the level there. So the second book is actually a small green book, and this small green book details of all the exciting games coming out for the Texas Instruments. Now here's the thing. You probably saw at the beginning of the video there that there was this came out like, I'll say 81, but there's one in 79, 81, and perhaps 82 or 83. Shoot. So during that, just before, you probably know, back in 83, 84, there was this big bang crash. And you can blame on Pac-Man, Atari, and E.T., and certain other crappy games that came over the systems. So this book, I wish I still have the book on mine. I wish I had a scan there. But a lot of it, as mentioned before, the details of all the games come over the system. Again, they're all cartridge based. You can also get disc type games. clones of Cubert, okay, clones of Pac-Man. I mean, that there was a lot of clones there, a lot of venture games, tech big to ventures, that sort of thing there. I can't even remember now, but I know there's a lot of clones for Pac-Man, Ms. Pac-Man. I think it was one for Frogger. I can't even remember them off chest, but I actually came close again some, but the only way to get it, of course, you have to order. I think it was in Texas, duh. And of course, back then you couldn't get anything because, well, game crash, and because of the game crash, well, you couldn't get games for the system anymore. So that pretty much killed it. However, there was still games, of course. This game you're seeing right now, and I'm actually playing this on an emulator. So some good people actually got myself killed there for trying kissing a red ghost. Wow, that just stuck it. So I was about to say before, it was very difficult at time for me anyway to order any games or to get any games because none of the facilities had this. And when I first got the computer, I actually got it at Kmart, and we all know Kmart in Canada is just thriving up here. And not only that, I couldn't get any peripherals. That includes disk drives. Of course, I mentioned about the printer, joysticks. I'm not sure what kind of joysticks they have. What I mean by that, to support these little holes, like serial port, parallel port, it would be compatible. And when I'm talking, I'm getting myself killed. And a few other things. But I didn't actually mind owning the computer, the system anyway, because it was actually real fun. It was actually real educational. It's almost like owning the Commodore, and you realize there's no games from it anymore. But again, that's another story there. And I cleared the level. So what I might do is after this game here, again won't be right now, but I might release a couple other exclusives to TI-99 or its instruments for that matter, because I really like the system. And actually, I never even get a chance to play this because again there was nobody to. I couldn't rent it, couldn't buy it. Game crash. What was there? I couldn't even actually. There wasn't legal ports to buy it. I think the first time I ever bought it in legal, not bought it, yeah, first time I bought a legal game was I think it was the 31 for Nintendo. Look at that, all that. I won't say I won't call it legal because I don't want to get sued or anything. But back in the 80s, it was flourishing. You had just get an adapter, get one of those Japanese games, and just plug into your Nintendo. I discussed it a little bit when I got the 31 or 3101 that I still have somewhere, including the adapter. So I'm actually happy about that. But again, we're talking about the Texas instrument. And it was a really good system, but again, because all the computers flooded the market back in the early 80s and the game crash, everything was cleaned up. I believe there was a couple systems that came afterwards, but I'm not quite sure. I didn't bother to look this information up here because I basically just want to tell you about my experiences actually owning this system. And this is actually my second time actually playing Pac-Man for the system here. Nice. So I'm actually using the keyboard to move Pac-Man around. I don't care about joystick anyway. I'm not going to use the fire button for anything. And also, which I found out a little later, that if you search Pac-Man in this, you'll get a person playing this game, and not only that, as mentioned, he actually programmed it. So it's definitely worth checking out. I'll put a link to it so they can see it firsthand. I gotta admit, it's actually a pretty good program there. At least it didn't take 3 days or 2 weeks like ET for the Atari 2600. And you gotta love the sound port system. Even though there's only one, and it can't do multiple sound inputs. That's perfectly fine. It's Nachalza? I can't pronounce it. I didn't get that apple. Let's see if I clear this board here. Ugh! Alright, that's it. that's it for me for this game. So it's Windows 94. I'll see you next game, guys. Take care.